I'm Daemonxel, and this is your Eve Echoes War Report, where we're just going to take a quick look of what's going on in the war with a quick hit of live statistics. But first, before we get into the details, if you can tag that subscribe button, ring that bell, share and like the video, then of course you're going to stay up to date with everything I do here on the channel. Now, before we jump right into the full server war, let's take a look at the other war that's going on, and that would be the Fountain War. And that would be RETC along with allied forces from MYTH against the alliance of Das Boop. Now, the other night there was a fleet moving through Fountain, setting timers against Boop. This fleet was comprised of both RETC and MYTH, and they were attacked during 3 different timers. Now, they were attacking a Boop hull POS timer, and then that fleet that attacked him was made up of VLT and Boop. Now, that fleet did get wiped out. The second battle took place on one of Boop's Citadels, the armor timer that was right next to the APM system. Now, that fleet also, Boop did get wiped out by the RETC and MYTH fleets. The third attack was on the APM gate going into that system, and again, the Boop fleet was wiped. So the forces of MYTH and RETC did wipe 3 Boop fleets in a single night. Now, the other day during the morning, there was a hull timer on a Boop Citadel, which RETC MYTH forces were planning to attack. However, what they were not expecting was the combined might and force of the Crab Army coming to defend the Boop timer. Now, when I say the coalition, I'm talking about 85 to 90% of the full coalition stopping the war aggression in the north against Silent to come defend in a separate war. Now, there's been a conspiracy theory going around saying that MYTH and RETC are blue to Silent and that they are making timers for Silent to follow up on. I can assure you that this is not the case. I am in RETC, and we actually have Silent as gray. We actually have attacked Silent, but that's neither here nor there. The reason the big form-up was to defend this Boop timer against the forces of RETC and MYTH was due to a similar CTA being staged by Silent forces. Now, this CTA fleet was amassing for separate objectives, not even considering coming into Fountain against Boop. However, I'm told by sources within the Crab Army from leadership that they could not take the chance that Silent was forming up for this timer, so they did have to come in and defend. In fact, in a Reddit comment, Valka of Boop basically stated that the CTA was for that timer, stating that his spies within MYTH must have written down the wrong timers set and given to Silent to follow up on, because they were wondering why Silent was forming so early before the timers that were happening in Fountain. In fact, he says on the post itself that he was looking at yesterday at MYTH's announcement and all hands CTA announcement for Ned, and I was wondering why the F they would form up 3 hours before our timers. Do they want to take the grid that early? Did I set my Citadels wrong? But no, he states that he figured it out. He looked at the MYTH Google sheet where they kept the Boop timers and realized MYTH wrote wrong Citadel timers, 1200 UTC instead of 1400, and then leaked this wrong timer to Silent, so Silent called an alarm clock CTA 2 hours earlier than they needed to. Too bad, in the end, that Silent canceled their alarm clock all hands. I would have totally enjoyed Silent alarm clocking coming 3 hours earlier than the timers. However, he did later delete this comment due to the fact that Silent was not forming up for this timer itself. So the question does go out. How long can Boop sustain defense from the Crab Army coalition while fighting in 2 separate wars? One versus Silent, that they are claiming the server war, and one against the forces of RETC and MYTH, which is not aligned to the server war. Now let's turn to the server war itself, and a lot has happened over the last couple days. Obviously, they have grabbed more ground, the Crab Army against Silent, taking more Citadels. However, they did lose some. They made a big statement of taking the Care Bears with Guns Citadel, which they named a second Jita, E. FICO. However, they could not defend it against Silent, taking it back. I'm told it was a good fight, and the Crab Coalition did form a defense against it, but in the end, Care Bears with Guns were able to reclaim that Citadel. Now, a number of battles have been taking place. I'm not going to get into those battles. We're going to try and review that later on in the weekly wrap-up. But let's just get right down to the live statistics that is currently on the Echoes Mobi. Now, currently on the Echoes Mobi live statistics, which you can get the bot for your Discord server, or if you'd like, you could also join the Echoes Mobi Discord server or go to their website. But currently, right now, these are the live statistics for 10:53 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Silent Federation has a total kill count of 5,106, with a total value of ISK destruction at 4.1 trillion. That is comprised of 1,927 frigates, 350 destroyers, 741 cruisers, 984 battle cruisers, 760 battleships, and 213 industrial ships. Now, they are destroying it in the cap section. They have killed 17 carriers and 4 dreadnoughts, and in the structures section, they have killed 19 capsular outposts. They've destroyed 2 Tech 1 Citadels, as well as captured 1 Tech 2 Citadel. Now, moving right into the Crab Army statistics, we have a total kill count of 5,284, with a total ISK destruction value of 3.6 trillion, and that is comprised of 2,400 frigates, 408 destroyers, 578 cruisers, 695 battle cruisers, 762 battleships, and 236 industrial ships. Their capital ship count stands currently at 5 carriers and 2 dreadnoughts, with a structure destruction of 114 capsular outposts, 4 Tech 1 Citadels destroyed, 23 Tech 2 Citadels captured, and 12 Tech 3 Citadels captured. And of course, we have to mention the third neutral party in this, and that is Chonks, with a total kill count of 906 and a destruction ISK value of 1 trillion. Now, that is also comprised of 276 frigates, 61 destroyers, 138 cruisers, 143 battle cruisers, 184 battleships, and 91 industrial ships. And the capital count remains the same as 6 dreadnoughts and 1 force auxiliary ship. They have destroyed 4 capsular outposts. We have also seen the first corporations leave due to this war. The corporations THD, and I believe it's EYFE or EYE, I'm not really sure which one it is. I will get back to you in the update with that. But they have left the Silent Federation to get safe from this war. Now, with these stats, they also release another stat, and that is the top kills done corporation breakdown. Now, if we're looking at the list right now, the corporations in blue represent Chonks, that's the neutral party in the server war. You have the gray, which is Silent, and yellow, which is the Crab Coalition. Currently, right now, the top 5 places are held by Chonks corporations as well as Silent corporations. You have X, formerly of No. You have Rack 2 for Silent, Ret C, FKG, which is Bot 5, and Honk. Also, in the top 10, you also have 3 Crab Coalition corporations, as well as 2 more Silent. You have Orc, SOL, Give, BBQ, and Daft, which is the Space Cows. And BBQ and Orc also for the Brethren Court. The top killer currently right now is X Corporation with 445 billion in its kills. Rack 2 has 453 billion in kills. They've been killing a lot of carriers. I've been getting a lot of carrier kills submitted by them. Ret C with 481 billion. FKG with 523 billion in its damages. And Honk with 112 billion in damages. Now, that is the total kills. Now, once you take the losses out, you have your nets, and that's what's giving the standings. So, X right now with 424 billion, Rex 2 with 409, RETC with 372 billion, FKG with 307, and Honk with 98 billion. And that's going to wrap up your war report. I'm going to put out another video probably in a day or two, as well as I'm going to try and get that community news update with the whole week wrap-up also by the end of the week. So until I talk to you guys again, have a great week, have a great weekend, fly safe, and remember, we're always one vision, one purpose, one front.